Hi, welcome to my channel. This is called Moyna Bass Fishes. I'm Jim Moyna, and we are going to talk about the point standings after 5 tournaments in the MLF Tacklewarehouse Invitational Series for 2023. We have a 6th tournament that starts tomorrow with Lacrosse, Wisconsin. The top 8 are the ones that will all be invited to the Bass Pro Tour for next year. So we're going to look at these point standings. And pretty much everybody's goal is to make that top 8 at the beginning of the year. So we're going to look at the point standings, see how it breaks down. I'll just start right off and say I am in 8th place right now. So I have to, I'm still in it. Most of the fields are not in it because they don't have enough points. So let's just start off by doing some simple math. Okay, I'm in 8th place with 803 points. So through 5 tournaments, that's an average of 161 points per tournament. So, which averages out to be, that's what you get for 99th place. The way it starts, the way they do the points is, first place is 200 points. Second place is 199 points, and then so on all the way down. Last place still gets 50 points, okay, because there's 150 anglers, so last place still gets 50 points. All right, so if you take that average and extrapolate it through this next tournament, so let's say it's a 161 point average to get to 8th place, so that puts us at 964 points for a total of 6 tournaments. All right, so to me that's a little low. I think it might come in a little higher than that, maybe another 10 points on top of that, but let's just leave it at that, 964. So immediately I can go to the point standings now and see who's even got a shot at making 964. And we can go down to 17th place and find an angler who still has a shot. If they get all 200 points, let's say they win, if they get all 200 points, in 17th place right now is Cody Pike, and he's got 766 points. So if you add 200 points to that, that puts them at 966 points, 2 points above the current average. So that's where so we got 17 anglers. I mean, fluky things can happen, behind him in 18th place see, here's the thing, there's kind of a gap. Cody's got 766, 18th place 755. That's an 11-point difference downwards. But that's Hunter Eubanks. In 19th, we got Ty Ah at 752. 20th, Troy Stokes at 751. 21st, Kyle Weisenberger, 747. Tied with him, Cody Spetz at 747. It'd be very unusual for any of these guys to I mean, you never know what can happen, but it'd be really fluky if one of those guys made it all the way into the top 8, not because of their skill, just because of the numbers and the averages. However, it's not. I mean, it's very possible because going into the 5th tournament at the Potomac River, I was sitting, I think it was in 20th place, and I jumped with the finish I had there. I jumped from 20th all the way to 8th. Okay, so things can happen, weird things can happen. But the fact that we got another tournament we had the 5th tournament added in there, and now the 6th one, those averages just start averaging out, and it's just those drastic jumps. As you add more and more tournaments, those drastic jumps are harder and harder to achieve. But you just never know you just never know. So anyway, now let's look at the 1st place guy, Ron Nelson. He's got 953 points. So he's guaranteed, as long as he catches a fish. I think the rule is if you catch a fish, you get 50 points if you finish last place. If you don't catch a fish, then you don't get any points. I believe that's how it is. I guess before I made this video I should have checked, but whatever. I'm not gonna check now. But that's all they used to do in FLW anyways. So let's say Ron Nelson catches a fish. He gets a minimum of 50 points, which puts him at 1,003 points. So he's pretty much a lock as long as he catches a fish. Second place, Martin Vila, he's got 929. Same thing. If he just catches a fish, it puts him, he had 50 points to 929. He's up to 979. He's in. Drop down to third, Keith Carson, 911. Okay. Add 50 points to him. He's up to 961. Okay, that's below that average that we calculated. So, him finishing dead last is not a good thing for him. More than likely, he'll still qualify. I mean, well, no, he won't. If he just gets 50 points, he's in jeopardy of not qualifying. So he just has to catch, enough fish that he can maybe get, I don't know, if he could get 65 points out of this tournament. So maybe if he could finish a minimum of 130th, 135th, he's probably in. Down to fourth place, Michael Neal, who's got 905 points. Same thing with him. If he catches a few fish, he does okay. I mean, if he, 900, if he finishes 130th place or better, he's probably going to be in. Now we drop down to Matt Stefan in fifth place. He's got 874 points. Now, it's not quite a given for Matt. He's at 874. That means he's going to want to tack on 100 points. 964 is the average. Was the average? 161 times 6, 964. That's the average. Technically Matt needs 90 points to get to that, which is a 110th place or better. However, I really think 964 is going to come in on the light side. I'm looking at more 974, and the reason why I say that is because the points are stacked so closely once you get down to the point range that I'm at. There's just a bunch of guys right there. So Matt, good luck. You're going to need to catch some fish. At least finish 100th or better, Matt. In sixth place is Gray Buck. Now we have a huge drop of the points. Matt had 874. Dropping down to Gray Buck, we got 828. Okay. He's going to have to get, let's see, 964, 828. He's going to have to do decent. He's gonna have to do decent. Seventh place, Joshua Weaver. Now we even dropped down another 20 points to Joshua Weaver at 808. Okay, at 808, he's gonna have to do well, and I'm at 803. So Josh and I are gonna have to catch him up pretty good. I mean, it's gonna have to be. And the thing of it is, I could post a 15th place finish and still not make it because of the weights are so tight. Now I'll just read them off. Okay, I'm at 803. Okay, I'm the last one in the cut. 9th and 10th are tied at 796. They're 7 points behind me only. That's it. Kyle Hall's in 11th at 787. Colby Strumpf, 784. Tied with Colby is Brock Reichenmeyer, 784. Drew Gill, 776. 15th place, Jason Vance, 773. Scott Lyons, 771. I gotta believe. So this is why I'm saying, if I post a 15th place, that still may not be good enough, because all it takes is two of these guys right behind me. Let's say I finish 15th. Well, if Marshall Robinson, Nick Hatfield, Colby Hall, Colby Schroff brought out of any of those five guys, if let's say two of them finish in the top five, well, then I'm out. So, and let's say, and then if I finish 30th, I don't see how, if I finish 30th, I don't see how I'm going to hold my 8th place spot, and that's because there's just too many guys right behind me. I mean, those guys are right there. So out of Marshall, Nick, Kyle, Colby, and Brock, and Drew, I mean, certainly 2 of those guys are going to finish higher. If I finish 30, 2 of those guys are going to finish higher than me, and depending on how higher, that could knock me out. Unless if I pass either Josh, Gray, or Matt. Matt is, I mean, he's not in perfect shape, but he's in good shape. But Gray Buck and Joshua Weaver, they're going to have to catch some fish. So if it's the 30th place, I may be able to overtake one of them 2, or maybe both if they both have a bad tournament. But yeah, it really comes down to who's are the guys catching them and who's not in this one. And let's talk about that a little bit. I'm very concerned about my performance coming up in this tournament. I'm not around the quality of fish it takes to do well in this tournament. I'm on the kind of fish, I'm on check cashing fish. So, and I'm talking like bottom end, the fish I'm on can maybe get me bottom end of the check unless something just amazingly surprising happens tomorrow. And then over the next 3 days, actually, it's a 3-day tournament. So, but with that said, my strategy is to go out tomorrow on day 1 and just drop the best bag I can with what I know. Now, if that lands me in kind of a bad position or a position outside of the top 40, then I might have to rethink things and maybe just, things I might have to just, I don't know. We just have to take care of day 1 and then reevaluate things. I'll have to look at this list of names after day 1, see who are the threats, see who aren't the threats, and take it from there. So I can't really say anything about day 2 until day 1 is in the books, but I will be taking a close look at these names that I've been talking about and seeing where I fall in place, and then the evaluation on day 2 will commence from there. But day 2 could end up just trying to carbon copy what I did on day 1, or it could be a complete Hail Mary pass and trying something radically different. Anyways, that is the point standings for the 2023 Tacklewarehouse Invitationals for this year. We got 1 more to go. Over.